Hello, as I spoke, Judith already told you, my name is Dimitar. I work for the Bulgarian partner organization that was involved in this project. And the topic I'm going to present you is food waste. It is a topic that I like very much, and it is a topic that we used in our work on this project. I like this topic very much because it's very useful to teach global education, because food is something every one of us can relate to. For one very simple reason is that we all need to eat. Well, actually our need to eat has been the main reason for people to work, and has been a great motor for human civilization ever since we started cultivating the land and farming our animals. We were able to make great advancements. It has been a central focus of most of our efforts. And throughout the centuries we have become pretty good at producing food. For instance, here you see that for the past roughly 50 years the world production of food has increased almost twice. So we became really very productive in making food. This is another map showing the food production growth. You see that most of the planet is in yellow, which is between 2 and 4 times the 2 to 4 times annual increase of the food production, and there are very few countries in red. By the way, Bulgaria is one of them, where food production hasn't grown, but this doesn't mean that these countries do not produce enough to feed themselves. So, you know, whenever in our history we have had a surplus of food, great things have happened all around the world. We have built great cities, we have produced literature, arts, music, science has progressed. So one might think that in today's world, when we produce so much food, we should have food safety, and we should basically all be very happy and enjoy ourselves and focus on developing, you know, all the other aspects of human life. Well then, how do you explain that eradication of extreme poverty in Hungary is number 1 on the United Nations development goals? Well, unfortunately, there is this phenomenon called food waste, and statistics show that roughly 1/3 of all the food that we produce in the world goes to waste. It means that 30 to 50%, depending on the geographic area, goes to waste before it has reached our tables and our stomachs. And with all this food waste going on, we still have 1 in 7 people going hungry. Now is probably the moment to say that even if we fed everybody in the world, we will still throw away food because we produce much more than the entire planet needs. But still, somehow, we are wasting 1/3 of it, and 1 in 7 people go hungry. How is this possible? How? There is a problem of mismanagement, obviously. I'm going to briefly go through some of the main problems that cause this result. The way we farm our land is not the optimal one. A huge quantity of the food, like these tomatoes here, this picture is taken in Europe, I believe, do not get collected from the fields because it's for various reasons economically not necessary. Like it would be a disadvantage for them to pay people to collect this food because they would sell it at a lesser price. Something like this, they don't even collect it. Same is with fishing. Here you have a picture of fish that will be thrown away because well, it got trapped while the ship was fishing for another type of fish, for instance tuna, and there's no tuna here, and they throw all of this away. No need to say how wasteful this is for the oceans, and well, it is a huge amount of food going back to the ocean dead. Transportation, we are not very effective in transporting our food. A lot of it gets wasted, goes bad during this process of transportation. Packaging, that's my favorite. there is something terribly wrong with the single banana package. Terribly wrong. This not only contributes to wasting a lot of bananas, it also contributes to wasting a lot of plastic material, which is of course also bad for the environment. Consumption. There is a huge problem with ugly fruits and vegetables. A huge amount of them don't go to your supermarkets and don't even get used for, say, making juices out of them, just because they're ugly and they're discarded at some point of the process. Conservation. Well, with this surplus of food that some of our societies enjoy, it's no surprise that people have lost their customs of conserving food, preserving it so that they could use it later in the winter months, especially here in Europe. And last but not least, eating. A lot of the food just doesn't get finished off our plates. So, in this grim situation, I tell you that I have good news. And the good news is basically contained in one message. That's the message that we have tried to convey to the students during our process, and it's that small things matter. All of these processes that we saw that lead to food waste, they are single process. They can be isolated, and each and every one of us can contribute to solving them by making something small, and it could have an impact on a global scale. And well, we started with projecting a movie called Taste the Waste. By the way, I recommend it to everybody. It's a movie that shows, you know, the entire problem with food waste on a global scale. It goes through all the continents, shows how the various ways in which food gets wasted, but it also shows what can be done to stop this. And from there on, we started a discussion with the students. They came up with some great ideas. That's the good thing about students. They always come up with good ideas. One of the ideas in one of the schools, the students got so enthusiastic, they went on, by the way, they organized it themselves. They called it, this is a yogurt factory in Bulgaria. They called them and asked for a visit to see how yogurt is produced. And this is an important step. When we see how our food is produced, when we see all the efforts that go in, we tend to be more thoughtful when wasting it and when consuming it. This picture was taken a month ago on the 16th of October. It's the World Food Day, and we celebrated it at one of the schools with vegetables that were donated by the Bulgarian Food Bank. That's an organization that goes and collects food from businesses that would be thrown away and tries to distribute it. So they gave us some cucumbers, onions and carrots, and we made a disco soup with the students. We were listening to music and they were peeling all the vegetables. Some of the vegetables were bad, we had to throw them away. The rest of it went into a soup. Actually, not everything went into the soup because, well, there was too much of it. And luckily the lunch lady helped us. She said that she would keep the rest of the vegetables and cook it for the rest of the school on the next day. So we made this soup and had a good time. And unfortunately our project ended last month. So I will not be there to supervise sort of the efforts that these students will be doing in this direction in the future. But I like to think that they will pass the message on and that they will remember that a small step for each and every one of us can be a huge step for our world. Thank you.